Carlson, how are you?
Yeah.
Good, so nice to see you. So, one of my favorite fun facts about this film, and possibly ever, is that when the producers met you first, you came in with a lookbook that laid out your visions and your process. This is amazing and makes a lot of sense because of how just purposeful and beautiful these shots are. So, how did your original vision grow and change and evolve throughout this process?
Yeah. I mean, I think I read the script and what came through for me was this really classic story. Obviously with rom-coms, you know generally like where the map is, like what to expect, but my entry point was yeah, I wanted to sort of embrace this like 90s aesthetic and bring it into 2024 and um I felt like it was a story about obviously you have the romance, but it was this bigger thematic story about women. And I really resonated with that. And I resonated with Anna and her struggle in the face of really impossible circumstances in this kind of like silly, pretentious art world. I just thought it would be so fun to kind of amplify that and make it a bit caricature and charming.
It's you accomplished that and so much more. It's such an incredible story. Now, Kimmy describes you as an actor's director, which I love. How does your background as an actress influence your work as a director?
Yeah, I mean, I think I obviously came up as an actor and I feel like I know how to communicate with actors and I am often kind of trying to create an environment that I would want. As an actor, being in front of the camera it can be incredibly vulnerable. So my mission is always, if I can, to create a safe and creative environment for my actors to feel like they can really just do anything. Don't be afraid, just do whatever. Don't be afraid to look silly. Like um, yeah, so I'm always just trying to like provide a container.
Absolutely. So you guys really work to evolve this classic rom-com trope, as you mentioned, into this modern day setting. I would love to hear a little more about that process and even how you start to go about something like that.
Yeah, well, in prep, I went all around London to different art galleries and auction houses and just sort of explored the energy and environment there and looking at how they display their collections that are about to go to auction, and then just kind of going in the tech rooms and seeing how the interns work during the auction process, and going into the basements of these auction houses and seeing how they store the art and the antiques, and everyone's got white gloves and just like carrying everything. It's like millions and millions of dollars of classic, antiques and art in these basements, and it's just all really fascinating. And I know a bit about the art world, and so yeah, just like combining all of these elements. And our movie is fun and kind of like pokes fun and just like has a good time with it all. So
You talked a little bit about resonating a bit with Anna, and I was wondering if you have any advice to any young women who are in this industry and sort of struggling a little bit and kind of relate to her as well.
it's such a common theme. I mean, I think she's existing in the art world, but you could put her anywhere. It's about starting on the ground floor, having absolutely no connection in the industry that you're working in. And, there's like this impossible barrier that you can't cross. And that resonated with me deeply, but I think for a lot of different young women, I imagine. And my advice would be, it's a bit of something tough to hear, which is that like nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to advocate for yourself like you are going to advocate for yourself. And I think you really see that with Anna. She has that awareness. She knows that nobody's like over her shoulder helping her out. She knows that it's about her and her. And so that's like the tough part. And then like the other part is that I think when you do fight for yourself and fight for your voice like that, help comes to you. Like you're met with like these sorts of like what I love in Upgrade is like she kind of has this fairy godmother, and then she like receives the respect from her boss. And I think when you show up to the workplace like that, incredibly competent and incredibly respectful of your own voice, it's really cool like what the universe will like muster up for you to like give you resources to help you.
Girl, when I'm with the Nocturnal. Hi, Archie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, very nice to see you. So to start us off, so your character in this film, Will, he has a passion for football, and you also share this love. And it's actually, as you said, how you got into acting in the first place when you were 11, which is super cool. Would you say that your own experiences with football influenced your portrayal of Will, and what significance did this have to shaping his character?
Yeah, the passion is just that's kind of, I mean, that's why Will does what he does. He's got a lot of money. He doesn't need to go and do that, but it's the passion that takes him there. And it's helping out these kids, and the love of football that gives him that purpose.
Upgrade is a modern take on this really classic rom-com trope, which I love. And as an actor, how do you approach bringing this fresh energy and this authenticity to a genre that's been so beloved for so many years?
Too sure. I think just kind of having the wittiness and the back and forth and bounciness between myself and Cami helps a lot. And just creating that thing that we can all kind of relate to when we met someone before, and you're kind of stepping on each other's toes. Either you're overexcited or too nervous. So then you're like, oh God, am I speaking too much? Am I doing this? Am I that? That kind of thing.
And absolutely, speaking of Cami, you two have such an amazing dynamic in this film. What was it like on set, and what was it like to work with each other?
It was great fun. It was great fun. Made me feel very comfortable and at ease. And it was our first go around as an executive producer, so she was looking out for me, looking after me. And yeah, just creating a very fun environment on set to work on, which is was where I think all the
So
good
you're
work, you're like, yeah, at your most comfortable and familiar with people.
absolutely, and you can really see that you guys have such a fun energy, and you can really see it on screen, which is so nice. How do you think Will's character evolves from start to finish? How do you think he changes throughout all this crazy stuff that goes on?
I think at the beginning he's kind of he's got his like principles. I think he's a very principled man, and he's just like infatuated at first. And you can see because he's like very willing to move to New York, and then having like this load of lies and everything about this girl that he's been told by her, it turns out to be untrue. Him being very principled is like, right, that's it, that's enough. Okay, cutting that off, that's done. Not having. But then like having slept on it, and maybe off screen speaking with his mum, and kind of just having like the forgiveness kind of comes out, and he can kind of see the good in her and what she was trying to do, and how it kind of spiraled out of control.